Hi there.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Let's
Super.
see if I can get my camera turned on here.
Alrighty. Okay. All
There you
right.
go. Hi there.
Hey, what's going on, man? All right. You got the release form thingy?
Yes, I've emailed it to you.
Okay, super. Perfect. So I'm just gonna ask you, like, it hasn't started yet. We're just gonna click. We're live, and then we're not live. We're recording, but the for the editor, we're gonna start in a moment. I'm just gonna tell you like what kind of stuff I'm gonna ask you, so just so you don't feel like caught off guard. But it's basically me like, how did you find out about the fact that you can sell for cash versus listing? Was it your first time listing selling your home? What was the experience like with the buyer? Would you sell your house kind of like this again? Would you like to have seen anything that you didn't during the process? If anything could be better, and what led you to choose this route versus listing it? And that's kind of it.
Okay.
Super.
Can I give you a small piece of feedback before we go into it? Because I don't want to mention this feedback on your video.
Okay.
The person who I interacted with to purchase my house,
Mhm.
I they weren't the highest offer, but they were the fastest, I guess you'd say. Um, I almost canceled on him simply because one day he called me and was like exasperated about the roof, which I had told him already that the roof had been replaced in 2006, I believe it was. And so, about 3 weeks after everything started, he called me and like was like, "We got to lower the price because I have to replace that roof," and blah blah blah. But he was very mean about it. It's like my wife was on call and she's like, "Why is he talking to you this way?" Like he just did the thing of like a sales of like, "Oh, I'm so frustrated that now I have to do this roof. I didn't expect to have to do this roof and stuff like that." Which he didn't have to do the roof because it's down there and we can see the house and they didn't do the roof.
Mm.
Um, but we almost canceled simply that one day because the attitude was so aggressive. And myself am recovering from PTSD. Uh, I woke up during a surgery that lasted for 4 hours, and I had to be awake for the whole surgery. And since then, I've had major PTSD issues and stuff like that. So like he like yelled a little bit at me, like angrily, like, "Hey, we didn't expect to have to do this," and stuff like that. We almost canceled specifically over just that one interaction. That's I don't want that to be on your video because that shouldn't be held against you all as a company. That's just something that maybe he needs to be talked to and be like, "Hey, aggressive sales strategies work sometimes, but sometimes you're going to
You know
push."
what? This is going to be used for training. So if you don't mind, I'm actually going to use that. What you just mentioned, we are going to use that in the video, if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
fine.
Because
Yeah.
this is going to be used for training folks on how not to suck.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then
So
I have multiple JD Power Associates awards, so
nice. Yeah, so that type of stuff, we're looking for the good and the bad, or the good or the bad,
Mhm.
whatever it is. We're looking for the way it is. That's the reality is the best picture. So don't even no filter at all. So cool. All right. So I don't do this too often either. So all right, let's see. So I'm not gonna try to say your last name. Or actually, Alan Thibodeau. Is that right?
Close. Thibodeau.
Close?
Yeah, you almost got it there. Thibodeau. Yeah.
Thibodeau.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
All right. Well, I'm just gonna say Alan anyway. Just there's no reason to for your last name to be public and all that. So good afternoon, folks. This is Gene, and we've got Mr. Allen. Allen sold a home to one of our members, and we are super fortunate to be able to get some feedback from Allen on how that process was, how the process went, and in order to improve, okay, in order to understand where we are, and in order for all of us to improve the buying experience for a customer like Alan. So, Alan, thank you so much for your time today. We're just going to go through some questions, and as I mentioned to you before, just kind of mention everything, the good and the bad. We want to kind of get the full picture, because we're all we're really trying to do is help our members improve at serving customers. So, for which I thank you once again for being able to do this. I hope this won't be too long for you, and let's begin. Let's start by just asking you where you're from. Where are you from? Where was your place before? Kind of what the city, what state, and where'd you end up nowadays?
But Port Arthur, Texas, that's Southeast Texas, world of the largest refinery in the world.
Nice.
It is our home of, excuse me. And it's an area it's a mix of, you'll have a few streets of very downtrodden, and in the next few streets you have $1 million homes. That's the entire city's like that until you get to the bad side, you know. Um, just I guess you'd say a regular suburb is what our area would be called at the end of the day.
Okay, okay, got it. And did you already finalize the sale and everything for the previous house?
Yeah, yeah, we're fully done.
Got it, got it. Did you end up moving from to another city, or the same city? Stayed in the same
I moved
location?
a couple cities away. Only actually on about 15 minutes from the old house.
Uh-huh. Okay, okay, got it. Makes sense. Cool. So, how did you find out about the whole process that you can sell directly to an investor versus listing it? When abouts did that come to your kind of awareness that that whole process even exists?
The very first time it came to mind was just to let people know, I surprisingly became an amputee suddenly. I had a brown recluse bite, lost part of my leg, and uh, for about a year we tried to take care of the house because it was already in disrepair when I bought it. Um, and with the spider bite, the amputation, all this time, the hospital bills, etc., couldn't really afford to keep the house the way we like. And one day we saw a sign on the side of the road, and it was all like, sell your house for cash, usually within 30 days. It was for a different company, but it got me into the idea. So I went online and I applied on one of your websites, I believe, is what he had said. It was actually one of y'all's directly. But I had applied to see what y'all would give me as a value for my home.
Got it, got it. Okay. Was that your first time selling a home?
Yes.
It was, okay. All right. Makes sense. What was the experience with the buyer that you sold to? What did you like? What did you not like? As I said, kind of the full process. We're looking for the full feedback, right? We're not trying to sugarcoat anything here. We're always trying to just improve everyone that we've got on board.
One thing I'll say that I really did like about the process was, especially the first maybe week and a half of talking to him. He told me exactly what was expected and needed. He told me when contractors were going to be there, they were there when he said they would be there. That mattered a lot to me because my time was valuable right then. Uh, Another thing that really mattered was the other people had reached out to for me to sell to. And someone would be like, "Can you just take some pictures of the property and stuff like that?" And yeah, I can take some pictures of the property, but I don't sell houses. I don't know what you want to see. I'm just going to take some pictures of some rooms, maybe the front and back. He told me specifically, can I see the bathrooms? Can I see each bedroom? Can I see the hallway? Can I see the carpet? Can I see the front of the house, back of the house, stuff like that? Which made it a lot easier for me to decide, okay, well, these are all the things he wants to see. I'm gonna get all those pictures plus a few more just in case. That was super useful. It was very frustrating to have other people say, "Can you send us 5 to 10 pictures of the home?" Well, yeah, I can, but what am I sending you pictures of? I don't know what you need to see. Um, I enjoyed that a lot. The great communication, the first 2 weeks, just a continual back and forth. That made me feel more confident that the sale was actually going to happen. So I didn't entertain other offers, uh, which helped keep me with y'all instead of possibly going with someone else. Hell, making sure that at least every day he sent me a text or called or something just to say, "Hey, we are still interested. We are still doing this. We're on it." That was awesome.
Okay,
The
okay.
downside to working with him was towards the end. We had signed for one price and he needed to drop the price because of he said he needed to redo the roof, which he didn't expect, which I had told him and been honest about when the last time the roof was repaired. And we had had the roof inspected 2 years previous because of a storm. We were worried that part of a tree had fallen and hit in the roof, but thankfully it did no damage. So we knew the roof wasn't actually in disrepair, and we were used to the idea of, they're going to do something to try to lower the price a little bit. That's just common business tactics. The issue with it was he went from calling and every time was like a positive, "Hey man, how you doing? Hey Alan," to this call he picked up immediate was just angry sounding and very frustrated and like he was having a bad day and taking it out on me. So that first call, we were like, "Hey, let's go ahead and chat later. We've got stuff to do." And me and my wife talked about it. We're just kind of like, yeah, he was really aggressive all of a sudden in a very negative way. And when we talked later that day, he was still just as aggressive. So at that point, it felt more like it was his tactic to try to like get me to lower the price was, "I'm really upset that we're having to do this roof thing," which they didn't. But that's, like I said, normal business tactic. I understand we're going to try and lower the price some. So I was okay with that. It's just the aggression that he came at it with that really, we actually almost decided to end the deal there. We had already signed the paper for the higher price, and he was wanting to sign a paper for a lower price. And we were okay, again, lowering the price a little bit because the first price was just a couple thousand more than we were expecting. That he would be able to do. So we were okay with a little bit lower. It was just the aggression really left a bad favor, or I'm sorry, taste in my mouth. I mentioned earlier, I have PTSD after the spider bite. I woke up during my surgery and had to watch the whole thing. They couldn't put me back out. So like I'm on meds for that. And which I've never had like PTSD or like anxiety in my life before. So being relatively new to anxiety and then having this guy who was my friend yesterday and today is almost yelling at me, like made me go, "Oh shit, I think I need to find someone else." So that would be the negative of make sure when you're talking to somebody, just a little bit of sugar does a lot more than bitterness because they start to associate that bitterness with you, if that makes sense.
Yeah, man, I appreciate and first of all, I'm sorry for making you go through that experience in your mind again with this whole aggression thing that they showcased. But I think it's going to go a very long way because we've got thousands of members who are basically connected and they're all buying homes. I think your feedback is going to go a very long way in helping a bunch of other people not do the same thing. Just kind of like I don't know if it's like an insecurity thing or what. But I really appreciate you sharing that, especially since you're sharing it twice now before the interview started and now. So thanks again. All right. Now, what would you say if you had to sell a house again? Would you be cool selling it the same or similar way?
Yes, in fact, my aunt went to sell her house 3 months after I sold mine, and I did actually direct her towards y'all. At the last moment, a cousin of mine from another state was like, "Hey, I'd like to keep that house in the family," so he ended up buying it. But I've already recommended y'all to people, and I would recommend again. Overall, the experience was positive for me. Again, I would just say, hey, tell anybody trying to be a little pushy, stop. Just you've got me. Just don't lose me.
Yeah, that's a good way to that's a good way to say it. Okay, got you. Kind of a similar question, but maybe we'll get some more thoughts. What else would you have liked to have seen that you didn't during the process? You kind of mentioned what you liked, what you didn't like about the things that did exist. What things that kind of didn't exist at all in the process that you think that may have been helpful or may have been made the process easier for the both of you, for both yourself and the fellow that purchased it?
On my end, I think one thing that would have really helped was some sort of maybe just a piece of, I mean, not really a piece of paper, but an email or something that had some sort of timeline for how things typically go. Uh, just a general email someone can look at and be like, okay, this process usually takes anywhere between 1 and 2 weeks. This part takes 1 and 2 weeks, et cetera, et cetera. That would have made a lot of the nervousness of, okay, now we've had 4 days of silence. What does that mean? Go away. We expected silence sometimes. We originally didn't expect him to be in contact every day at first, which was, like I said, awesome. And then, once it was out of contact for a few days at a time, we did have a few moments of should we start maybe looking elsewhere kind of thing. So I just say at least a text every other day is awesome to keep someone, I guess, on the line, as you'd say. I'm way
Hmm.
more interested in somebody who's communicating with me because I feel their interest is there than somebody who says, okay, I'm gonna take a week and then I'll get back to him.
Okay. Okay. Understand.
I hope that helps.
Got it. Got it. Okay. That very, very helpful. Now, as far as like, so what would you say were your options before you decided to sell, right? So did you were, and this is what we always try to understand to just better understand what kind of customer should we be talking to, right? So we're not wasting our time. What kind of person we should be talking to that's interested in our services? What do you think is what were your options before? Like, hey, we're gonna keep this house. Hey, we're gonna list this house. We're gonna sell it. We're gonna do something else. What kind of what was there at any point like a crossroads where you had to decide like, hey, we're gonna sell or we're not gonna sell. We're gonna list. We're gonna sell, to some of these cash investors. Well, if you could just say a couple words about what, if you take yourself back to that time when it was when the decision was happening, what was that decision process like? If you remember.
Yeah, well, once we had decided we were going to go ahead and sell, and we had already listed online to y'all, to one of the websites. We also had just literally put a sign in the front yard that said "For sale by owner." And my neighbor across the street came over. He made me an offer about, I mean, just to be honest here, it was twice what y'all offered, but it was going to be 10% down and then like $700 or $800 a month until it was paid off. And I I couldn't wait that long for that kind of money. So though it was a lot less to go with a direct cash offer, it was much more convenient and needed for my time right then. The only types of offers we had were people who were, wanting to put down, a small percentage and then pay over time. Those were the only other only offers we were even hearing from besides direct cash.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah,
Yep.
and you did mention that wasn't the highest offer, and this is the one you're mentioning, right? Like these other offers that were more.
Yeah, that wasn't even actually the highest direct to cash offer. Again, a lot of the reason why I went with him was those first 2 weeks. He stayed in constant contact and lowered my anxiety about the whole situation. And he
Mhm.
also was very informative, which was cool. I mean, he was the first one. I had spoken to 3 or 4 other people already that were the same type of business y'all do, and none of them explained a damn. I'm sorry, didn't mean curse. None of them
No,
explained.
it's cool. You can curse.
Um, And so that was cool. Telling your even if they like I've never sold a home, but I lived next door to my grandmother for 40 years. She had on that home, and I helped her sell the house, and I helped my sister sell her house. So I was not completely unfamiliar with the experience, and I still needed a lot of walking through. I think most people need that, and a lot of places didn't offer it, but y'all did.
Okay, this is great information. Okay, got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Let's see. What it's okay, and I think we're you've been you're giving such good feedback that some of my questions get checked off before I even ask them. Um, as far as the whole process, so what the once the process started happening, what was kind of the most difficult parts of the process, whether it was the move out or whatever, or the closing
Yeah,
itself?
that the move out itself was the most difficult process. We again, with me being disabled and amputee now, I was unable to move, any of the heavy stuff in the house, things like that. So we needed to pay a company to move us. But the and y'all were willing to work with us on this, and this is another reason that was huge for y'all. Because he had told me we would do this from the beginning, where some other companies had said they wouldn't be willing to. He set it up so that I got my cash for the house, but gave me 3 days to move out. so I
Hmm.
can move into my new place because I needed to put my down payment on the new place in order to, I didn't have the cash liquidity to get out.
Yeah.
So he gave me 3 days to put the down payment on my new place and have a company move me. And that was awesome. That was really cool.
Understand. That's okay. That's huge. Okay. I'm glad that
I would have
that.
been actually I genuinely would not have been able to sign with y'all if that hadn't been on the table.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Any other parts of the process that were kind of, stressful? We're just looking for pain points, right? What else could be improved type of thing?
This will be a weird one to mention because it's not y'all directly, it's who y'all work with. Y'all's
Sure.
contractor stole from me. The contractor who came out to the house, they even admitted it and they brought back most of the stuff they stole. But they said they showed up to the house and they had thought that anything that was left there was free takings at that point, but it was still within the 3 days. So they had already taken a full truckload of stuff. And then when we showed up to get the rest of our stuff on our last haul, they were loading up with their truck with more stuff. And we were like, hey, who are you and what are you doing in my house? And they were like, we're the contractors. We're here with so and so. And I called him and he confirmed that really was his contractor people. And at first they were like, oh, we just had these shovels and stuff that we didn't really take much. But then when they realized that we had cameras all over the property, they
Mhm.
they met up with us at our new house and brought back everything they had taken. And we don't know that anything's missing. We haven't found that anything's missing, but it was a funny situation to us because we were like, we understand they are probably used to showing up to a house and anything that's left behind the person considered trash and they could just do whatever with. And they
Right.
brought everything back, so we weren't mad about it, but that was a situation.
I see. Okay. Okay. Great. That's well, great for sharing that. That's not a great situation, obviously. Um, okay. Now another question. Any other, by the way, any other? What about the paperwork, all that stuff? How to, any difficulties there?
Y'all had some sort of office in Dallas that we went through. I don't know if that's part of your company or someone y'all work with. They were pretty on top of things until the finalization, the last couple of days. Again, I've mentioned like 1,000 times. Sorry, I'm an amputee now, so it's kind of hard to get around. And the last few days, I had to spend maybe about 10 hours standing in lines at different records places because they
Only 10
didn't.
hours?
Yeah, I spent 3 hours at Port Arthur courthouse. Then I had to go spend a few hours in the Beaumont courthouse, and then at the end, I had to go back to the Port Arthur courthouse and see the same person I'd seen to begin with, because the person in Beaumont was only able to send that copy to Port Arthur since I lived in Port Arthur. It was a nightmare. But that wasn't y'all. That was again, I think the company who we actually like I wrote my check and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. The title
frustrating.
company.
I was in a lot of pain for that, but that again, I don't know that that's a y'all thing at all.
Right, but that's good to know. That's good to know. Yeah, that's good to know. Yeah, the title companies is like something we don't really choose, but that's good to know anyway.
Yeah.
Okay,
Shortest time, that's what it was. CE.
okay,
This.
got it. Understand. Let's see. And I guess my probably last question, and this is also something that we always try to kind of understand how we better position ourselves. As far as real estate agents, did you consider one before selling it, or any specific reason why you didn't go with a real estate agent, or maybe you didn't even bother, or just kind of what's your thinking around working with
I have
those folks and the
two
commissions
friends
and all that?
who are real estate agents and one family member who's a real estate lawyer. Uh,
Mhm.
and I got their advice on things. And from everything I was hearing from them, signing with a place that was willing to make a cash offer and I could just get out and get done sounded much better than dealing with finding someone who wanted to buy the house and wiggle through every little corner. I wanted something where I could be done in 45 days. Um, and a direct cash offer was by far the fastest, easiest, and for me, I still think the best decision.
Okay, okay. Now, just curious, and I know I'm beating this up for what would you say the reason, because this is super interesting to us. What was the reason that you wanted to be done in 45 days? Any specific reason, like some work thing or whatever, or something else, or just the pain in the ass of dealing with it for a long time?
Basically, that pain in the ass. I've got, you know, I hate to say it in a depressing way, but there's a limited time you've got here on Earth. I don't want to spend 6 months dealing with
Mhm.
selling something I don't want anymore. I mean, I do still want the house. It was a family house, but I mean, like something that was no longer capable of me keeping. I'm not going to sit there and deal with that for 6 months when I could be enjoying life.
Yeah, yeah, very true. I got it, very true. I'm about to. I listed a freaking car for sale, and I'm like, you know what? I'm probably just gonna go trade it in.
I was
Screw this
lucky
whole
just that
process.
the part of the when used cars were selling for way more than they were worth, we sold my old car. It was only worth like 2,500. We sold it for 85, and I was all right. He made the cash offer after seeing it in person. I wasn't even. I was going to say 25, and he's the one who said 85. I said, take it. Let's go.
Damn, that's a big difference. Wow. Shoot. Nice. They lucked out on that one. Nice. Awesome. Any other things that you would recommend to us as a company that is just trying to always improve, trying to find people better, right? We're always trying to do things, improve the experience once we are working with the seller, and then also improve how we're looking for that seller. Where do we find the seller that's perfect for us, the folks that do want a quick turnaround? Because that's basically one of the main benefits. Just kind of your comments, maybe wishes for us of what we could improve in finding folks better, folks specifically that don't want to sit there for 6 months and that do value the speed, and then any other things that maybe we didn't talk about that we could improve in the process itself. And I think that one will wrap up.
Well, for me in my area, I've had a lot of people talk to me about this after selling my house. Again, Port Arthur, one of the largest refineries in the world. We have a lot of people who move here specifically to work there. And if you don't have a degree in working in the refineries, this area is kind of dead for you. So we have a lot of people who come in and a lot of people who want to leave, but they just don't know how. They don't think they can afford to sell their house. I know that sounds weird, but like in order to sell a house, you do kind of have to have some money to be moving somewhere else. I would say the thing that has done the most, that got the most attention from me from this sell was word of mouth. I put on Facebook the entire process. The first day we signed with him, I posted on Facebook and had people asking. When we finally sold and we're out of there, I posted on Facebook and was telling people, "Hey, look, this company, we've got our cash in hand exactly like they promised. Things are good. We're happy." Like I said, my aunt came at me. Me and her aren't super close, and she even reached out to say, look, we're looking to sell. Do you recommend them? And I was like, yeah, at the end of the day, I think it took maybe right at 30 days to sell, and that was because of the title company, not because of y'all. Um,
Mhm.
it was awesome as far as getting things done. It was I got what I needed. So I'd say finding ways for people to spread word of mouth from people they trust, because nowadays people aren't going to find an ad where it's just some random TikTok or YouTube or whatever. But if you can get family or friends to post places and say we had a good experience and link somewhere directly to y'all, you'll get a few at least that way.
Got it. Got it. Super. Super. That's incredible.
I don't know about y'all's area, but my area, everyone's very much we only trust the people we know, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that goes for everywhere, man. I think
Yeah.
that's Yeah, I think that's just a human thing in general. I feel like that's everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I'm from New Hampshire. I spent a bunch of time in Boston. It's the same everywhere. Corporations, families. Yeah, it's really the same. So I appreciate the reminder about the very common sense. So Alan, thank you so much for being a customer and for doing this interview, for willing to spend some time. And folks, thanks for whoever's watching this. Thank you, and we hope you got very valuable lessons out of Alan's very helpful feedback. And at this point, we're going to wrap up. See you soon. All right,
Thank you
Alan,
very much.
that's And that
Yay.
was great. That was great. So, well, now the editor will take care of that. The rest,
Yeah,
they'll
yeah.
they'll just cut our things. What is your Venmo? Did you send it to the folks already?
I did not. Let me pull it
You
up right.
just pull it up right now. What was the amount?
100.
Okay, I'm gonna do 150, man. You were so helpful. You
Oh,
have no
awesome.
idea.
Man, it's helpful with man, the new place. What's really awesome is that house that y'all bought. I had just bought a fully brand new oversized air conditioner for it.
Ah,
And it kept that house. I mean, I'm talking about it could be 110 outside. You could keep that house at like 70 and it barely had to run because it was so strong. This new place we moved into, our electric bill is 450 a month because the air conditioner is undersized. It sucks, dude.
shit. And that thing stayed there.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm trying to find that Venmo thing right now. Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
it's,
no, no worries. What do you do, by the way? What's your occupation?
I work in medical supplies. I people who have full knee reconstructions. My
Uh-huh.
company developed a device that stretches the tendons for them without them having to do it themselves, and I deliver, set up, sell to doctors, things like that.
Okay, okay, nice. So you're in a sales position or like operational?
I'm operational, although I just did my first doctor sale last week. I'm really
Oh,
excited for
dude.
the commission from that. Supposed to be.
Shit, congratulations. That's awesome. Oh, it's addicting. That's it. Oh, there's no going back. There's no going back.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the because the whole way it even started was my wife has a broken knee from a trampoline accident last year. And so we were looking into getting something done for that. And I just happened to run into this dude who was selling the device. And I asked, I used to work in a blood lab before the injury.
Yeah.
And, I read papers. I know medical papers quite well. Do you have any? And he sent me a link for one. I read over it and I messaged him. I was like, hey, my doctor doesn't prescribe these, but I'd like to get one for my wife. What do we do? And
Hmm.
I got through with that, introduced him to that new doctor, and he was like, "Man, you just brought me in so much money. You don't know. What do you do for a living?" And I told him, "Well, at the moment, I'm working for myself. I'm building computers." And he said, "Well, come to work for me. See if the money's worth it for you." So I gave it a couple weeks try. Money was definitely worth it. And then I signed a couple. I signed a new doctor last week. So now I can literally quit, and for as long as that doctor's prescribing, I've got income. That's nice.
Nice. That's awesome. That's
I'm
awesome.
trying to move to permanently. I want to start going to all the doctors I can.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when was your surgery? When was it? Was that a long time ago?
2020 November, right as
2020.
it started.
Okay, I see. I see. How
Uh,
how soon? How soon? Because my relative's going. She might have an amputation. I wonder how soon until you can get some kind of what's it called, prosthetics? Is it called the
Depending on what's taken, if it's like a leg, foot, something like that, it's usually very quickly they'll give you one that just kind of fits, and
right?
then maybe like 6 to 9 months later, depending on your insurance, they'll give you one that fits well. Thankfully for me, they just took half my foot. And then
Hmm.
cool as hell. It's gonna sound made up, but I promise it's real. They put styrofoam made out of mushroom in the shape of a foot, and then they put a vacuum pump around my foot, and it regrew the meat. So I don't have to have a prosthetic, but I have half a foot that has no bone. So I can't jog or run. And standing on it, I'm only standing on two toes, my big toe and the toe next to it. So it's very painful if I stay long. And I've
Okay.
also seen it probably like 4 times now. Like I jumped out of my friend's truck that was lifted, and that was enough to break the foot. So it's just one of those things where I kind of wish I had went with a full foot and got a prosthetic at this point.
Huh. That's an interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
The
Shit.
mushroom stuff was cool though. We actually got to watch it in real time grow. We like if you
I've
put a
never heard about this. I've never heard about that type. That's
yeah,
crazy.
science is out there, man.
Insane. Is it out of mushroom because it has to be like organic material, so it's not like rejected or whatever?
Something about the mushroom was able to take human stem cells and turn them
Ah,
into meat, basically.
that's fucking crazy. Wow.
It
Wow.
even grew a toe, but the toe has no bone. It has a
Yeah.
toenail and everything, but it's not a real toe.
Fucking A. So it's like stem cell, it's like taking the DNA and regrowing it.
Yeah, it's almost like I guess like a lizard regrowing its tail or something like that.
Shit.
Yeah.
Wow, that's wild. That is insane.
It's
Did you
cool. All my nephews and nieces, they like to play with that foot now because like you can bend it all sorts of ways, and it just
That's good. That's what. Hey, you could probably do you could probably make some money on TikTok, YouTube Shorts.
yeah,
Could
playing
probably
with bendable foot or something.
probably would be some viral shit right there.
Yeah,
Most probably. Oh yeah, it probably would. Yeah, yeah. Hey, might as well make lemons or lemonade or whatever. Shit. What's that? Oh, what did you grab did you find it?
the Venmo. Yeah, I sent it. Somebody
Oh, you
responded
sent
with
it.
that they got.
Oh, did you send it? Let's see. Can you just send it in the chat if you don't mind, please? Right here, just so I do it now.
No problem. Oh, let's see, man.
Oh, you know what? I found it. She sent it to me. Anna sent it to me. So you don't
There you
gotta worry about that. Let
go. All
me
right,
just,
put it in. It's all good though.
yeah, just do you know how to sign a PDF? You probably do, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, yeah, if you could, the form that they sent you, or did you already get that done?
I've already signed it and sent it.
Oh, perfecto. Okay.
Let's see. Make sure it actually sent because you know how things are. Yep, sent to Anna, and let me make sure. Typed out my name, signed, current address, all dated. Only thing that's not signed is y'all signature.
Super. Okay. Check out. Can you make sure that you got it? I just sent
Yep.
it.
Already received.
Or you say super. Well, thank you very much, my friend. My name is Gene Blinkoff, by the way. If you ever see me or wonder, I'll have Anna share my contact info because you're a cool dude, man.
You
So
too.
it's
Man.
been,
You made this. I was way more nervous about this than I needed to be.
oh really? Same here. Shit. Thank you for not being in a rush. Like, thank you for because I was like, fuck, if they're in a rush, then I'll have to zip through these fucking questions. Um,
No,
super.
no, you scheduled the time, man. And I think it even said to expect an hour, so that's
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty concise. I don't know how to do that shit for an hour. Well, man, your feedback is gonna help drive this thing a lot better. So I really really appreciate it, and I wish you all the freaking best, my man.
no problem, man. And good luck on your business. I hope that y'all are super successful.
Thank you so much, man. You too, man. Get them commissions, man. It's some addicting stuff.
Yeah, you too, man.
Thank you, brother. All right. Great to
Good
see
luck.
you. Great to meet you, man. Hope to see you
All right.
again. Cheers.
Yeah.